Oh shoot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we coming now. Come on. Yeah, that's right. We put it down. It's like a family in here, just a little disabled. Putting it down, we lay them out on the table. Yeah. Who's in the house? The brothers in the house. Gotta turn it on out, let you know what we about. Kinda like Cain and Abel, a bit unstable. Don't be breaking the brain, break the whole damn table. How we shut it down, we give them a blast. Keep it real dope, just using their ass. That's right. Put it down. Yeah, we in the house. Yeah, come on. Okay. Hypnotized in a trance, gotta make them dance. Jump in the pit, now throw up your hands. Having a party, beat blast on the mic, spitting lyrics from my tongue, bringing the hype. The door's wide open, do you dare to come in? Battle with the boys, mess with us with a sing. So who's up next? Let's gather around the table. Lay your ass flat, let you know that we're able. Coming down, come on. We coming down, come on. Yeah, that's right. We put it down. Yeah, we in the house. Yeah, come on. Okay. You know, shut it down. It's like a family in here, just a little disabled. Putting it down, lay 'em out on the table. Who's in the house? The brothers in the house. Gotta turn it on out, let you know what we about. Kinda like Cain and Abel, be a bit unstable. Don't be breaking the bread, we break the whole damn table. How we shut it down, we give 'em a blast. Keep it real though, just using they ass. Hypnotized in a trance, gotta make 'em dance. Jump in the pit, now throw up your hands. Having a party, beat blast on the mic, spinning on the mic.
Alrighty, what's happening, everybody? I am Tactical Santa, joined by the Big Boss Squatch and Spraying Heavy, Walking Steady, 30 Spray J. And I got to tell you guys, I was kind of a slacker this week. I was doing some traveling. I missed out on watching wrestling this week, but I think I kind of had a good excuse. I was actually at the 2025 Beard and Mustache Competition Worlds. Greatest thing that happened is I got to hang out in person with the one and only Spraying Heavy, Walking Steady, 30 Spray J. And I cannot wait to the Buckeye Beer Battle because all three of us of the Suplex Syndicate will be hanging out together. But with that being said, Big Boss Squatch, how was your holiday? How was your week? And what's happening, brother?
Man, my week is fantastic. My holiday kind of stunk because I had to work, unfortunately, but the rest of it was really good. We put out Firecracker. Firecracker's flying off the shelves. I can barely keep it in stock anymore, to be honest with you. So that's great. I'm kind of jealous because y'all got to hang out without me. So, that's just.
We were looking for you in the bushes. All we saw was a raccoon.
I was there in spirit. My hologram.
If it does make you feel better, I was wearing Firecracker July 4th at Worlds because I had the Sasquatch with me and my buddy Chief when he was on stage Saturday when we were both on there. He had Cigar Lounge in by us. So we were representing the Squatch. So no worries. You were there with us, brother. You were there with us.
If I would have known that, I would have got y'all shirts and y'all could have just been bright. Well, you couldn't because your suit was loud enough. I couldn't.
So did you notice I'm missing a little something?
You're naked. What the hell?
About 3-4 inches off the beard, but I think it looks better.
Yes.
Yep. But Spray, I gotta tell you, brother, how was your week? How was your traveling? And how did you like Worlds, man?
Oh man. Okay, so the first day I wore my elegant Sasquatch, stroke my beard, tell me I'm handsome shirt. Went to the Pirates game, rocked out with the community. My first ever pro game, so that was great. It was a great experience. And just meeting all of the community, meeting my brothers, Dino and Chief. We hung out 2 nights in a row. Loved meeting everybody at the comp and everything. Everybody was so nice and very welcoming. But my biggest thing about the whole trip was just connecting with Chief and Dino Tactical Santa. We had a
Right.
great time.
Tons of fun. So I got to ask you though, when are you going to fix our family portrait? Because I still look angry, man. I don't
Well,
want to be angry. Come
I
on.
mean, I can fix it. You put send me that photo, man. I'll take care of it. I'll make you look like you're constipated, not so much angry. How about that? That work?
There we go. There we go. But you know what, Jay? Until I get that new family portrait, man,
here we
we got
go.
this.
Man.
We got this,
My
right? So I'll tell you what. Let's say
Cash
hello
app
to everybody.
available if you want me to dye my hair, but other than that, it's gonna have to take a little bit.
So first up in the show tonight was Baker. What's happening, Baker? He says he's going to be in and out, man. We appreciate you, and it was awesome meeting you at Worlds.
Baker, top 10 goatee
Yes,
of
sir.
world beards.
Right, and then we've
Top
got
10.
Kyle from Shape the Podcast, and he got a 4th place in his division, man. How awesome is that?
Woo!
How awesome is that? Congratulations, Kyle. And I look forward to seeing you at Buckeye Beer Battle. He's going to be there. We got Joshua Ricks. What's happening, brother?
Bricks.
And of course, the one and only, my sister, Melissa from Copper Johns.
What's
And
up?
thank you for all the support, Melissa. Wish you and Garrett could have been there. That would have been a heck of a time. But never know. Maybe Buckeye Beer Battle. I don't know. Maybe. That would be really cool.
Maybe.
We've got this guy here, man. You got a twin brother. We just got the 30 spray Jay there. He without anything else. I don't know.
I have to say hi to everybody. Come on.
Right. We got Born Bearded. It was awesome seeing him, man. Born and
Hey,
Bearded, man. We had fun
don't
with
look
Dave.
that man in the eyes. You will be hypnotized.
Right. Let's see. Who else do we have? Garrett, what's going on? We got Garrett, the bearded Sasquatch. What's happening?
Man, we got a
brother?
Sasquatch reunion going on in here, huh?
See, usually I'm okay because on the Thursday night show there's 2 Santas against the world, right? But now, man, I got 2. I don't have my backup, so it's two Squatches, man. I don't have a chance, right?
Now you got 2 Squatches and 2 Chris's in the room, so
yeah, we got 2 Squatches and we got 2 Chris's. What's happening, Chris from True North? I'll tell you what, man. You want to know what's awesome? I got to man the True North booth for about, I don't know, a half hour on the last day there. So I was peddling some True North product. I got a picture with the he didn't have the full size dirty shirt croc guy because it got shipped to his house and didn't get shipped to World. So we had Mini Chris there. It was kind of funny because I almost said Mini Kiss, but we had Mini Chris there, and we had a fun time and picked up a couple cents from him. So that was an awesome time. And Chris, if you can't see, and Melissa from Copper Johns, it's shorter. I did get it cut, but wait till you guys see Chief. My gosh, he did.
Oh,
He looks awesome.
amazing.
He is Kratos, the God of War.
Amazing.
makes me even more jealous of his beard.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Like I said, let's get into this. But I'm gonna ask you. What I'm gonna do is with this format, since I missed wrestling this time, we're gonna bring it up. We're gonna talk about Raw, and you guys are gonna start talking, and I'm gonna ask you questions. You're gonna fill me in on everything that happened. So, what happened on Monday Night Raw, fellas? Fill me in.
All right, give me 1 second. My phone died, so I gotta play around with this. Okay, so basically, give me 1 second. Okay, all right. I really come unprepared, as you can tell. But wow, this is giving me trouble. Okay, here we go. The Jimmy Uso, excuse me, Jay Uso, saved Sammy and Penta from a beatdown from the henchman of Seth Rollins.
Okay.
That was crazy. To be honest with it, I kind of want to see this Penta Braun match. Like it's starting to really build up, even though they're not talking. It's just fighting, and I'm okay with it. So I can't wait till actually that happen. That actually is going to happen. I want to say it's probably going to be on SummerSlam, to be honest with you. And then we have new tag team champs, Finn Balor and JD as what Jim Cornette would call Funko Pop McDonald.
And I just gotta say,
yes.
Why? They're so much better than them two. Why?
Are you saying that the New Day's better than the Judgment Day?
Well, see, that's not really Judgment Day. That's like the Team Who Wish version of Judgment
I
Day.
mean,
True story. True story.
Right. So I
like
mean, you
I
know,
they have nothing to do with JD. Like he's a mid card jobber
that
guy.
that's okay.
And
Send him down
Finn
to NXT. Send him down to NXT. Send him
and then
away.
Finn is he was at one time a really good wrestler. I don't know what
Right.
they're doing with him.
Right.
Like they're trying to break up the Judgment Day with him being an instigator with him and
Right.
Liv and Dom and
Right.
Perez.
I'd say by SummerSlam, if not Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So the rumor was that they were going to push a
You
single
know, guys. One
Finn
second.
Balor.
We got finest mixed breed who's got that wrist. So
Ooh.
we kind of like got them. What would you say? What would he was he kind? Is he kind of like the modern day Razor Ramon with Ric Flair in that? Would he be the modern day Razor Ramon, Ric Flair?
I gotta see finest mixed breed rock a toothpick, and then I'll give it to him.
All right. So finest mixed breed, you need to do a reel with a toothpick in. So we got to know if
Yeah,
you
have
like
to have the
the
gold
mix.
chains.
Yeah. You got to have that. You got to do it for us. But man, got to meet him. What an awesome guy. But anyway, go ahead, fellas.
All right, so you had that happen, which was, I will say, throughout this whole show, the crowd just they were fired up at the beginning, and then it just died basically throughout the whole night, and it's just like
Was it
and that was the whole crowd kind of killed it
was
for
it
me, but
was it a clean win? Did they get a clean win, or was there outside
uh,
interference?
No. It was a back and forth. Yeah, there was a little interference
yeah,
with the partners,
Okay.
but it looked like that the New Day. Finn Balor kicked out of a lot of, um, you know, should have been three, should have been done. Finn
Right.
Balor kept it going.
I was thinking, you think they gave JD a title just because he almost died on TV a couple months ago?
Yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Just as
I
a
mean, like
thank you.
if I almost died, I want to raise.
I mean, like
Right.
he basically got cut in half by a table a couple months ago,
Right.
and like
Right.
punctured a lung and broke a couple ribs. I'm like, that's the least you could do is just give me a title. I mean,
Yeah, you know
Mhm.
that's probably right. You know what? I mean, they're going to get lined up going into SummerSlam, so I can't imagine that this title reign's going to be long. They're going to drop it at
No.
SummerSlam probably.
this coming weekend we have Saturday night's main event and the Evolution going up against
Woo!
AEW, which is kind of crazy. So that actually leads me into the next
Right.
thing that happened. It was basically Rhea Ripley called out Io Sky for the championship.
Right.
I'm ready for it.
You can tell there's no hatred in between these people, in
No.
between these wrestlers.
Much
They're
respect.
too
Much
friendly,
respect.
and like
Right.
after they got talking, they're standing there in the middle of the ring, smiling at each other, doing Io's like stupid, emote move or
Well,
whatever it's called.
do you think they've been really trying to push Rhea as so okay when she was hardcore with Judgment Day, right? She rode that line of almost being a heel, right? And she
Yeah.
was like she was more, I hate to say it this way, it's the only way I know how to say it, but she was more masculine, right? She was jacked and she had the short hair and she had that like look, right?
Yeah.
And now I think they lightened her look up. She's got the longer hair.
They're trying to
She's
make her
not as
more
jacked.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Right. And I think that they're trying to make her more of a baby face now. So, but to be honest with you, they need to put I mean, between those two, Rhea's got to win it. It's just good for business having her with the belt on because here's the problem. Io can't cut a promo.
No, absolutely not.
So put it back on Rhea.
Getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Getting better. The only thing is, I'm very surprised at how long they have kept the belt on Io. She's a high flyer woman. She's great. She's a great wrestler. Promo, can't do it.
Right.
But this promo with Rhea, they going back and forth a little bit. I got to give it up to Io for actually being able to communicate without the subtitles.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, like she's trying. Like she's
trying.
She's giving more of an effort on the English side than what Asuka is.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy, even though Asuka's been in the WWE longer.
But though, the thing about Asuka though is I think Asuka's come to the point where people expect her not to speak English.
Yeah.
Where Io Sky, you're kind of like, well, okay, whatever. But I think Asuka's kind of where they're like, I want to hear who, you know. I mean, I think it
Exactly.
adds to it, you know.
Exactly. So,
I think it's best for business to put the belt back on Rhea
I
because, I mean,
mean,
you've
she's one
got
of your top 2 stars. I mean,
Okay,
right because you've got
so
because you know who's coming
Rhea,
after with that. If they put it on Rhea, it's going to set up Bianca Belair going after it.
dude, I love Bianca. She's held the title for a good minute. I'm over the Rhea and Bianca battle.
Sure,
I want
sure.
I want some new beef for Rhea.
Who do
The
you
only
have though?
thing
Who do you
who do
have?
you have? Everybody that
Nobody.
I want, the ones that I want to say are good contenders are on SmackDown. But
Right,
the good thing about this match is the fact that Rhea has never beaten heel. As big as Rhea is compared to how
right,
Io Sky is,
right.
that's what I'm ready for a slobber knocker of a women's match. And women always put on the best matches. So
oh,
Evolution is going to be going down in the books as one of the best, and they need
yeah,
to keep pushing that.
Right,
yep.
right.
So then the next match was actually a women's match, and it was actually a pretty good match. Surprisingly, it was what was it? It was Bailey versus Lara Valkyrie. It was a good match up until the wonky finish, where basically the match ended in a draw and a double pin. And it was, I would, to be honest with you, I would have rather have a double count out than a double pin.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Because at least
Yeah,
you all know, hey, you got knocked the hell out outside the ring, opposed to, oh, both of your shoulders are down.
I think you know what would be a phenomenal match to see is we just talked about who can go after Rhea, right? Lyra Valkyria, man.
You know what?
She
I want to see
I want
Bailey.
to see it. I say,
If
but
ba-
see Bailey. Here's the problem
Bailey's
with
been
Bailey.
played.
She like I like Bailey, but you got to know when it's time to move out of the way because if she stays, now she's blocking new talent, right? Let Lyra come up. Let Lyra and Rhea fight because Lyra is a powerhouse too. I mean, I didn't realize it because usually the before the way she used to dress, you couldn't see like really her legs and stuff like that. Now you see her legs, you're like, man, this girl's got some legs, some thick legs. She's powerful, man, and I think it would be a good fight between her and Rhea. You know,
yeah, I can see it, but once this whole thing with
right?
Becky finishes, if it ever
Yeah,
finishes, because you know how
yeah,
E
yeah.
likes to draw stuff out.
Right.
Whenever that finishes, then where do you go with it? Do you have the title back on that,
Yeah.
Lyra, or does she just go on to the heavyweight title after losing? Which
Well,
makes
you
no
kind
sense.
of, I mean, it would kind of make sense that okay, I already had that belt.
Yeah,
Let's go for the heavyweight one. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like now they're using that belt as the stepping stone, right?
yeah,
Which kind of like back in the day, if you look back in the day in the men's division, the step was get the Intercontinental, then you drop it somehow, you know, so you got cheated out of the Intercontinental, and the next thing you know, you're going after the heavyweight title, you know.
yeah,
So I mean, it's just progression anyway, you know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So it should be, like I said, like Jay said, that Evolution pay per view.
right,
It's always going to be. I'm sorry. It's always going to be a pay per view to me. It's never going to be a
right,
PLE. It's a pay per view.
right,
Um,
right.
a pay per view is
If
always
you had to
it's
call
going to be
the
fire.
number to get
Yeah.
paid for the pay
Hey,
per
you know
view,
what? I would if I had cable. I would have
Right.
oh, it's on. You got it.
Well,
no,
well,
but
well. Let me ask you this. So, how would you guys rate? Because I know they were both filmed on that night, but how would you rate that edition of Monday Night Raw? Because we keep talking about this that SmackDown is beating out Raw. How would you guys rate that Raw?
I mean, it wasn't anything to blow my socks off. So I'd probably say it was
Oh,
like a 6.5,
What about you,
maybe
Jay?
7 at the most.
I'd have to agree. I would say like if we're gonna go letters, I'm gonna say C plus B minus.
Yeah,
It was all right. It was something to watch while I was waiting for everyone to get to Worlds.
Right,
Fun fact: while we were in Pittsburgh, they had just been in Pittsburgh.
right, right, right. Yep. So was that the end of it? After that,
no,
was that the
the
end of
the,
the
the
Raw?
main the main event was Braun. Was it Braun and Brunson Reed versus Sami Zayn and Penta, and
Oh,
that
okay.
was actually a pretty decent match. That was the highlight of the night.
Was it?
and then until the end of the close to the end when there was a post. Actually, I should say, at the end of the match, there was a post match beatdown
Okay.
until Jay came back out and intervened. And so this is setting up, I guess, SummerSlam, probably night one or
Right.
night two. Probably going to be night two, night one.
Right.
So yeah, so
Gotcha.
that's going to be a 2-3 way match. I don't know who else is going to be in it, but
Right.
so.
Yep.
But yeah, that was Monday Night Raw.
That was Monday Night Raw.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a show. It wasn't much to
No.
get too hyped up about.
So it sounds like I didn't really miss that much.
Exactly.
So moving on to SmackDown, fellas. What happened on SmackDown?
Oh, SmackDown, bringing the gravy on top of the potatoes all over the plate with this. We're going to have the return of Drew McIntyre. I honestly thought the contract was done. Maybe we see him somewhere else. But he interrupted our boys Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, putting himself in the middle of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Talked some smack to both of them and kind of threw shade at Randy Orton about being a little hesitant, saying that he will not be hesitant for Cody Rhodes. And as he turns around and says, unlike some people, he gets an RKO out of nowhere.
Yep.
Well deserved.
So has all these guys in the back not learned you don't turn your back on Randy Orton?
You
Because
know,
that RKO
that's why
could
it's
come out of
called
anywhere, man.
RKO out of anywhere.
Right.
You know, the most dangerous letters of the WWE. And I'm here for it. It puts Drew McIntyre again, you know, I'm tired of the crybaby, oh Drew this, oh Drew that. He is coming with a little bit of steam saying that he wants to demolish Cody, he wants Cody to win it. He doesn't want Randy to win it though.
Right.
He doesn't want Randy to win it because Randy is going to have a title reign just as great as the last run of John Cena.
And did you see that little interaction between Randy and Cody as Randy was leaving the ring, and like you could see like what the old Randy was coming back mentally wise, like he was kind of fighting the voices when he got outside of the ring, and Cody's looking scared.
If you notice, he shaved the mustache. He ain't the RK Bro anymore. He shaved the head. Legend Killer, Apex Predator, Randy Orton is coming.
Yep.
When it does come, everybody better be ready for that title reign.
Right.
It's going to be the most interesting story. Okay, Cody may get another finish the story part 2, right off into the sunset. We may get a heel turn from Cody Rhodes eventually.
Right.
But no matter if you're heel or babyface, Randy Orton is the guy.
So let's talk about Randy for a moment. When he came back, dude, he is probably, I'd say, 25 to 40 pounds heavier mass-wise.
Oh, he's
big, right?
He was on Stephanie McMahon's show.
Yeah.
And when he was out with that with the neck fusion or the back fusion, he went over 300 pounds. He said he was like 320, 330, and he had gained like 80 pounds. And he was like,
but he's jacked. I mean, but here's the thing. Imagine when they finally let him do his thing, because he's been very subdued since he came back. They haven't let him really do what he's supposed to do. When they unleash it and let him be the Legend Killer, dude, it's going to be awesome, because that guy is jacked and he can throw people around with no problem. So I'm waiting to see that. I really want to see him just unleash and be the old Randy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that eventually we are going to have our favorite RKO moment, because there is so many.
Right.
What else happened after that? There was a little bit of a promo with Solo talking about his new family.
So that's what I heard. What is the new name of this family? Is there a name for it or anything? Or?
MFT, My Family Tree, or you can say My Freaking Tart, My Fart Things. I don't know. It's weak sauce. They could have went with something like the Dynasty, the Samoan Dynasty. My family tree. I don't know. You know,
That's not.
he did say my family is complete. So where does that leave old boy that hasn't showed up yet? Tamaloa?
Because
Tama?
Tamaloa's Zilla,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna come and join forces with Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And when
What,
those
what,
two
what
get
So
happened?
together,
I
when
was gonna
those
say
two get
what
together,
happened to Tamatanga?
all gas, no
that's
brakes, and they're gonna
that's what we're
dog
talking
walk
about.
everybody.
Yeah.
Tamatanga?
So yeah, Tamatanga, the one that's
Yeah, yeah. What happened
Zilla,
to
sometimes
him?
right?
yeah.
Get
Zilla.
Okay.
bumped?
So I'm ready for the rest of. I am so ready for Zilla. I watch Zilla as much as I can. I follow him on Instagram, all his reels, all his wrestling. I am ready for someone else to come in. At least they didn't go with Bloodline 2.0, so here
Right,
we are with the
right.
family tree.
See, and
But
they
Jacob,
dropped, I was gonna say they dropped the ball because they did a vignette or a promo, and Solo's sitting at the end of a table, and his family's behind him, looking death row vibe cover ish type thing, and they completely failed with that. Like they had their chance, it was there, and they dropped the ball.
I mean,
see the thing that was
my
happening
family tree,
It's
though.
stupid. It sounds like a DNA matching, ancestor type thing.
my family tree. We went to Myers and bought my family tree down here. We're gonna connect the dots.
Oh, I'm 4.3% Samoan.
Yeah.
My family tree.
So Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, we'll get back to that. That was like the finisher of the match, or
Mhm.
of the show. Let's step over to the women's tag contenders, which was Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, won a triple threat to become contenders for the World Tag Teams Evolution. They're pushing
Mm,
this Dark Queen, kind of good, kind of bad. They always
right,
wanted Charlotte Flair to be a babyface, and Alexa Bliss is helping that. I would love a darker image for both of them, just
right,
because I would love to see Alexa Bliss snap back into the storyline of the White Six. But hey, long storytelling, we're doing it,
right,
and I
right,
think they make a great tag team. They've done it before, and they'll do it again.
right.
I find it funny the height difference between Alexa and Charlotte, and Alexa
Right,
just putting Charlotte in her place.
right,
That is the
Yeah.
funniest thing to me. Like
right.
was it as before they went out to the ring, Alexa patted Charlotte on the head and said, "Let's go," and I'm like,
Now, Charlotte patted Alexa on the head, and that counted as a tag in.
Yeah,
So Alexa Bliss was able to pin the opponent for them both, showing that Charlotte Flair isn't really thinking. I don't like
right,
the whole dumb moment for Flair because she's supposed to be the great. She's supposed to be just like Ric Flair, her daddy.
right,
But they're playing it as soft and trying to get her and getting the crowd going with her. I'm here for it. They're going to
right,
make a great tag team. I can see that they're going to be tag team champions in the future.
right. Who? Refresh my memory. Who are the women's tag team champions right now?
Oh my gosh.
no idea.
Technically,
Yeah. Oh, is it Raquel? Is it Raquel and
Oh yeah, Perez.
Roxanne?
Yeah.
yeah, but they're on Raw.
Hold on, let me find out. I'm not for sure. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I know they're on. Like I just don't know if there's two or if there's just one. If
I
it's
think there
them,
was just
then
it's just one
Um,
because remember Jade when Jade and Bianca had
mhm.
it, they were going back and forth.
Right.
So I
So
think it's
right
just
now it's
one.
Raquel and the new
yeah,
girl from Next,
Roxanne.
and,
that's it.
and
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
and
Raquel
that's
and
weak as
Roxanne.
hell because they just pulled her in because Liv Morgan is back. They should have just vacated the titles and kept it going. But once one injury they'll vacate the titles, and then the next one
Well,
they'll just put it
to
on a
be
new
fair
person.
though, they did that with Jade and Bianca because when Jade got hurt, they let Naomi come in. So I think their new thing is if there's a faction, I think they let them come in.
Eh,
So yeah, I mean, it's nothing that hasn't happened before. I mean, if we go back, speaking of tag teams, Demolition had 3 people, and they used to
there we
let
go.
them swap it. So
Mhm.
yeah, you
We
know,
also had Tiffany Stratton. chose Trish Stratus to officially challenge her for the women's title. It pushes back Jade Cargill just a little bit for a bigger PPO.
We were talking a little bit earlier about this, Jay, and I think you'll agree on this, Chris. The best thing that could happen is for Jade to get hurt again.
Yep. Go away. Yeah.
Go away for about
100%.
3 to 4 months, and because here's my problem with the Jade situation. She has the look. 90% of the time on the microphone, she's good. She has the attitude. Her entrance is awesome. She's got that vibe, but she has got to get her in-ring timing down better.
She's still pretty green, yeah.
Right. She's got it, because if they push her and she wins it now, people are going to see her, because like in AEW, they cherry-picked her competition.
Oh, 100%.
She went up against nobodies.
And
that's why she had that long streak.
They're doing the same thing with this. Like they're putting her with workers that can make her look strong.
Right.
But what was great, like I'm sorry, they had it was Jade, it was Tiffy, and then it was Trish all in the ring together at one time. And I swear to God, Tiffy had like 6-inch shoes on.
Right.
And it made her look so much shorter than what she really is. Like she's really short apparently. And I laughed. I'm sorry. It's the little stuff I pick up that just has me dying sometimes.
But I think if they push her and put a title on her at SummerSlam, then she's got no longevity, because she's all her weaknesses are going to show if they put that belt on her too soon. SummerSlam. She needs to technically be beating Tiffany, but Naomi comes in, cashes in, wins it, does something to hurt Jade. She has an injury, gone for 4 months, and then Survivor Series or something like that, she comes back and exacts revenge on Naomi.
Yeah, so that's probably what they do is then they have, after Jade loses the title after winning it,
right?
Then they go into, Naomi cashes in, then they go into a storyline with those two, because Naomi can work. I don't care what anybody says. Naomi can work, so I can see that being the next opponent for Jade, because at least she would make Jade look somewhat decent.
Right. Because that's the problem. You hit it on the nail. Everybody that she's been wrestling lately has been workers.
Yep.
I mean, I will give it to Asuka. Asuka did her best, everything she could do to make Jade look good in that match.
Yep.
Jade failed that match, not Asuka. Asuka did everything 100%. Right. So she's got to be with people but eventually, if she's going to be champ, she's got to be that person that can make other people look good.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with her. They gotta give her some time off to learn the craft some more. So yep. Moving forward, Jim.
I think that's why they chose Trish Stratus, is to give her more time for a build up. I don't see them injuring her, but I do see the long stretch. She is Queen of the Ring. How are you going to injure the Queen of the Ring? So they are still playing the long game on this, which is great.
Right.
But
like I said, since Naomi is the Money in the Bank, let's say, Jade was about to win, she comes out and just cranks Jade in the head with the case, cashes in, gives her a concussion. She's out for a couple of months and boom, Yeah. Yeah.
I would definitely say that somewhere, some way, they are going to stretch it out for Jade. It is going to be, I think it's going to be Naomi and Jade at WrestleMania. Just because that feud is not done.
No, it's not done.
I want to say that the next one, as far as stretching to a long story, is the Wyatt Six. Now, they had a chance at the tag team belts, and that got kind of pushed in, disqualifications and all this and all that. But Eric Rowan and Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Wyndham Retunda's brother, did face against Montez Ford and Johnny Gargano or whatever, however you say his name.
Yeah, they took one person from each tag team.
Which they do that a lot, just to build it up. But some interesting facts. Eric Rowan moving like a beast. going through it, moving fast, looking good for being what 6'8", 6'9", big
Big,
Yeah.
up
big
there,
fella.
big
That dude
fella.
can move. That guy
He can
can move,
move.
man.
I've been waiting to see all of the Wyatt Six really start wrestling,
Uh-huh.
and
Right.
all of them can wrestle.
Right.
Loomis and Gacy work great together.
Yes, they
Rowan and
do.
Uncle Howdy work great together. Now, the tag team that they have for the Wyatt Six is definitely Loomis and Gacy. It's
Yes.
just giving a little spotlight to Rowan, giving a little
Right.
spotlight to Uncle Howdy.
Sure.
Uh, True wrestling fans, if you know and if you notice that every week there is something different about Uncle Howdy's costume. This
Right.
week he had his brother's straps on from the final match of the Blacklight match. I think that slowly they are building Bo Dallas to be the Fiend. I'm here for it.
I think I'm kind of excited for it, but I don't know how that's going to go over because my thing is this. Now you're filling somebody's shoes in. So here's the thing. I think that some people would say, hey, maybe that's stepping over the line. That's disrespectful. Why don't you just come up with a new character? So here's the way I look at it. And if you want to look at how like showmanship and everything is, right? Um, if tomorrow Gene Simmons died from Kiss and they decided let's get another guy, I don't want him in that demon face paint. Create a new character. Because here's the thing, as creative as everybody is right now and the mask makers and all that, why not make him somebody else? That way it's a whole different, so that way you don't have to say, hey, do you remember Fiend 1 or do you remember what Fiend 2 did? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Now,
exactly.
the only
Make
reason
him
I'm
his
here,
own.
I get it, but the only reason I'm here for it is
Right.
finishing the brothers' story.
But
We don't know
technically,
how the Fiend or Uncle Howdy was connected. Bray Wyatt, tragically passed
sure,
away. I
sure,
still want to see what was in Bray Wyatt's mind. Bray Wyatt wrote down a lot of things, pieced
sure,
it all together, was doing things. I just want to
sure.
see that. I'm rocking with it because I loved Bray Wyatt
But
when we turned in wrestling.
but let me ask you this though. So one of the two main characters is dead. Sorry about that, but so how do you really finish the story, Bray Wyatt's story? Now you're going to put him as the Fiend, and what are you going to do?
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you finishing the story? So smarter thing would be keep Uncle Howdy in his stuff, and if you really want to bring the Fiend back, get somebody to play the Fiend, because
Maybe
then you
that's
get the
what they
story.
do.
You get
Maybe
the
that's what
story.
they do. Because if you thought about it, at the beginning, when Bray Wyatt was still alive, everyone was saying, "Oh, he's Uncle
Right,
Howdy, he's Uncle Howdy," and then they
right,
brought in Bo Dallas.
right,
So maybe they're gonna do the same thing and thinking that, oh, Bo Dallas is really the Fiend. I don't know who played Uncle Howdy at the beginning with the full on mask because he was a little chubbier
right,
and everything. It was
right,
not Bo Dallas. So
right.
there's still plenty. Now, who was that tag team that was supposed to come from AEW? Uh,
Oh, the
uh,
party. I forget. I know who you're talking about, but I forget the name of it. We
no,
talked about him last
something
week.
Vincent and
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm
Like I
talking
said, we
about.
talked about him last week, so or
Right,
2 weeks
Yeah.
before.
right,
From what understand is that Bray Wyatt wanted the Wyatt Six not only on SmackDown, but it
um,
pieced in
sure,
every show.
sure, sure,
So hopefully they build this back up. What I liked about the match was to show that everyone on the Wyatt Six can wrestle and can put
right,
on a good show.
right. I would like to see you
Thank
show
you.
me that picture. You
Yeah,
show me that.
it was private party. Thank you.
You you showed me that picture, and I agree with it. It would be kind of cool to see every member of the Wyatt Six holding gold,
Yes. Yes.
kind of like when the Bloodline, everybody held gold,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
It'd be kind of cool to see and it wouldn't even matter if they were on the same show, right? If they, if some held gold in Raw, some held gold in SmackDown, but having that whole Wyatt Six holding gold would be cool to see. You know,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Definitely.
That would be fun to see. Yep.
So to go back because Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso's match against Solo and my fart tingles or whatever they're called, my family tree. That ended the show. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, they did beat Solo and JC Cobb or whatever his name is. I call him the Timu version of Rhino if he was
Yes.
Samoans.
Yes.
Um, but post match, there was a brawl, and the big thing is the Tonga sisters ambushed Fatu through the announcers table.
The
So
tongue. Oh, okay.
they are bringing some women into this bloodline stew. It's always going to be the bloodline
Right.
stew, no
See,
matter
that's
you know.
that's what I was wondering because I always thought the
Yeah,
coolest thing would be is if Nia Jax and Naomi, because they're related, and
yes,
bringing some would have the female version of the bloodline. I thought that would have been a
yeah.
cool thing to happen.
Oh yeah.
You could have had
They
Tamina in
need
there.
a
Tamina too.
female.
Yeah.
Yes, they need a dominant female faction. Like
Yes.
I'm just gonna throw it out there, Evolution, because you
Right.
know everybody was you got the mouthpiece, you got the beef, you
Right.
got the
Right.
athlete.
Right.
They need to do something with the women. Maybe after
Right.
Evolution, you're gonna see something like that.
That would be cool.
I think they're slowly building it with Tiffany Stratton. Although I don't see it being
No.
faction worthy, I do
No.
see that they are starting to try to build them together as a
Right. Well,
clique. So
I'll tell you what. If they do some sort of bloodline, if they don't have Nia Jax in there, and Naomi, because if you had Nia Jax and Naomi with whoever the Samoan sisters, because Nia is dominant, okay, and
Yep.
then you got Naomi who is very agile and she's tough too. So those two would be a great addition for a female bloodline. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think that would be amazing to see, because I think Nia has pretty much proved herself. Because remember when she first, everybody was complaining that she was hurting people, right? If you look at her from when she first
yada
came in
me.
and now, right, you see her how good she made Jade look, and all these matches she's
Yeah,
having, how good she's making all these other wrestlers. She's earned her stripes now, man. She deserves to be in something special.
Yep.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion. I think she's
yeah, definitely.
fantastic, and she would be key to have in a
I'd agree
bloodline.
with that. I would 100% agree with that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I can see like their because they don't really have much for Jimmy to do. Like, so they're
Right.
putting him with Fatu
Right.
just so he would have
Right.
some sort of backup.
Right.
So I understand that. I get that.
Right.
Like, I,
You know who would be awesome for like the women's bloodline? Um, Enzo Amore to manage him, man.
I knew that was coming.
Come on. Come on.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I thought it was
Make
gonna
it the
happen.
face.
Come on. Come on. He'd be
One, one. Okay, chat. So while we're in here, how many times will Tactical Santa
Yeah,
mention Enzu Imura? We have one.
I'm gonna say over under about 4 more times. That's just me.
Over and under. I'm gonna say we're gonna at least get 5 more.
5 more.
5 more. Okay. All right.
It's a lot in the next 20 minutes.
I'll do my best to not disappoint you guys.
Okay.
Operate in some way. So you'll have to forgive me, guys, because let me see here. I still have this up. Well, let's save that for later. Let's go move on to this one. I think. Let me see here if it'll let me switch. Come on, let me switch. Nope, that's not it. Man, I got everything screwed up because I was not here today. Man, where'd it go? All right, I don't have the thing, so we'll just put it on this. We're not going to do future wrestling predictions just yet, but what we're going to do is our theme was we originally said we were going to do the top 5 tag teams of all time, but speaking with these gentlemen during the week, we're kind of like, there's actually different generations of greatest tag teams. So we figured we'd do it in chronological order. So this week we were doing the top 5 greatest tag teams. So I believe we said before 1992, right, Squash?
Yep,
All
that
right.
was basically right when like WCW
Right.
really came into prominence.
Right.
So AWA,
NWA.
Boom.
So I'm going to start it off because we all agreed on this for this, I believe, for the years there. But my Mount Rushmore up until 92 for greatest tag teams ever, my pick is Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. Proof is in the pudding if you see how many title reigns they had. And I'm going to tell you, if you listen to stories, there were guys, I mean, back when wrestling, those guys, they were stiff. They were sent out sometimes to hurt people. And I remember watching interviews of wrestlers that would say, we get these jobbers would get to the ring and they'd be like, to the back. And then the list would come up, who's wrestling who. And they'd always say, man, you could always tell when they come up and read that list and find their spot and they go, oh my God, I got to wrestle the Road Warriors. Nobody wanted to wrestle them because they just come out, manhandle you, beat you up, slap you around, and do what the thing. So I'm going to tell you, we'll do a fantasy wrestling thing sometime, Jay. And there is not a tag team out there. If you put them in their prime, nobody takes them out.
That's why
Nobody.
they were the if you ever did tag team in WrestleFest,
real quick,
against for the titles.
Because says his goat is rated RKO, and I could honestly say, I'm not going to say that they could beat the Legion of Doom. I'm not going to take your glory, but that is right up there with a dominant force.
Yep.
Dominant force of WWE.
I would say later on, because if those guys, if RKO and Rated Bro would have went against the Road Warriors, the Skyscrapers, those type of tag teams, not a chance, brother. Not a chance. It ain't happening.
All right. So who you got number 2?
People are probably gonna look at me and be like, I can't believe you're gonna pick them at number 2 or whatever, but I gotta put Demolition there.
Okay.
Or actually, no. Demolition was number 3. Hardy Boys. Not Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys are number 2.
Make up your mind.
Dudley Boys.
Hold on.
I haven't had a lot of sleep, man. So
I'm sorry. Was this before the overall?
So I believe I got mixed up. So what do we decide? Yeah. I haven't had a lot of sleep.
I'm sorry. He's
we're going before that time, buddy. We're going before the time of the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys. We're going back.
What was our list on that? Who do we decide on? Because we had a list on that.
Oh, I thought we were doing all individual lists.
Oh, we're doing all. Okay. I got confused.
It's okay. As you can tell, we do a lot of pre-show prep for this.
So at that time, I'm gonna say my number 2. If we're all doing individuals, I'm gonna say my number 2 would have to be Demolition.
Okay.
Because they got so much heat as being Road Warrior knockoffs, which they weren't. If you look at them, they were not Road Warrior knockoffs. They didn't do it just because they wore face paint. Everybody was like they were Road Warrior knockoffs, but they were dominant in the WWE, and we
were all watching dominatrix stuff at like 10 and 11. We didn't know what.
But they were dominant. Number 3 for me in that era would probably have to be the Hart Foundation.
Okay.
Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil, man, they did a lot. Number 4, let me think here. I got to remember. Probably the Freebirds.
Okay.
Fabulous Freebirds. They were up there. They did a lot of stuff. Number 5, I'm trying to think. Who would I put in there? Trying to think.
British Bulldogs.
No. You know who I'm gonna put? I'm gonna put because they were still NWA, I believe. No, they weren't NWA.
Rock and Roll Express.
No, that's not on my list. I'm gonna say the Skyscrapers.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say, the caveat with the Skyscrapers is Danny Spivey and Mark Callis, not Sid Justice and Mark Callis. The Danny Spivey Skyscrapers.
I gotcha.
Yep.
Come on, All American Boys. You're missing a lot of good tag teams.
Well, see, that's the difference, though, Jay. Back in the day, we had tons of good tag teams. Now, modern day, there's not many.
Oh, here we go. Let's just make fun of me because I'm the baby of the group.
All right, Jay, go ahead. I want to hear your list. Go ahead.
Oh man, from that day, I'm gonna have to say British Bulldogs.
Okay.
The British Bulldog alone by himself was amazing. Obviously, there was maybe some performance enhancers used, but
That came
I
later,
honestly,
though. That came way later than
um,
than the 80s, yeah.
Strike Force,
Strike
Okay.
Force. Yeah.
Tito Santana, and Rick Martel. Yeah,
That was before the
um,
model.
Yeah, that was, yep.
yeah. And then I'm gonna have to go with Rock and Roll Express because before the WWE and the NWA, they were running it. They were running it. So I mean, I'm only watching highlights of old shows from my generation and younger. You guys
Right,
kind of put me in a bind of where we're at as far as this. We are going to go all the way from their time,
right.
his time, his time,
There's
to
like a
my
10-year
time.
difference between all three of us. All
There's a
right.
10-year
Right,
difference
right,
in all this. We are going to go through this, so stay tuned for future Suplex Syndicate shows because it will get
right,
more interesting
right.
than just talking about the Legion of Doom.
I mean, actually, they're very lucky that Enzo and Big Cass weren't in that area because Enzo
How you
would have
doing?
ruled it, man.
How you
Because
doing?
every one of those tag teams were SAWFT, soft compared to those guys.
Okay. All right. That
People in the chat, that is now
do,
2 mentions. Do we have any
you know
votes on how many times?
you got the North Jersey accent almost down there, bud. Almost
I'm
down.
trying, man.
You're this close,
Listen, man. I don't want to disappoint you, Squatch. So I've
man.
been working
All
on
right.
it. You know what I'm saying?
As it should be. As it should be.
Right, right.
All right. So who you got number 3 or 4? 4.
Um, you're gonna say it's an honorable mention, but I gotta go with like Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man, man. The ultimate madness, ultimate
Okay.
macho-ness.
All right.
Come on, you got the cream of the crop and the guy that.
You ready? You ready,
Oh,
Jay? You ready? You ready? Load the spaceship with the rocket fuel.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
sure,
That's a compliment.
but it was a lot of sweaty, snorting promos that really got everyone pumped for the next show.
This is
So,
true.
Yeah.
This is true.
I will say this, and I can understand your honorable mention of that because Macho Man, his vignettes and his perfection. I'm not gonna anybody. You could stick anybody with Macho Man, and I'm gonna say that's an awesome tag team because that guy was a perfectionist, and I mean, yeah, the cream always rises to the crop, right? And the Macho Man did, so.
All right. And who you got number 5, Jeff?
it's kind of hard because you're going to tell me it's below the time. You got to give it to me because I'm a little younger. The Steiner Brothers was there. If not, I'm gonna.
They weren't there.
I mean, they weren't
They
they?
weren't.
They were part of that.
No,
What was that college?
no,
with
that
Sam?
was Rick. That was Rick Steiner and Dr. Death were the Varsity Club.
That's
Okay,
who it was.
okay.
Yeah,
So that's the one I'm talking on. That's
the
the one I'm
Varsity
talking
Club.
on.
The Varsity.
The
Well,
Varsity
no.
Club.
Well, first off, it was Mike Rotundo
Yep.
and it
Uh,
was Mike Rotundo and
Oh,
Rick Steiner were the Varsity
yes,
Club.
and
yes,
then
yes.
it was also Kevin Sullivan was in there
Yes,
too.
No,
yeah,
no,
he
no.
was the manager.
I'm going with Rotunda, Wyndham's father.
Yep.
That's
And
the
Rick
one I'm
Steiner.
talking on because that paved the way to the next generation of everything that was going on. And look
Sure.
what's coming. Look what's coming. We got Steiner's coming. We got
Right.
Rotunda's coming. We
Right.
got Mark Henry's son's coming.
Right.
As long as wrestling is in your blood, we are going to have wrestling for another 200 years.
Unless you're part of
Right.
the Eric, Von Erich families, then we don't. But,
Yeah.
They're still around.
That's a whole other episode
oh
for
yeah,
us.
That's
For
all.
Von Erichs, yeah.
That's a long episode.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't do an honorable mention. I'm gonna say my honorable mention would be Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I like what you did there. Again, a lot of snorting, sweating, and great promos.
You would have to call them though. They officially didn't have a name of their tag
No.
team, but I'm pretty sure
No.
you could probably call them the Egomaniacs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It didn't last long, but it was great tag team matches. It did keep the stretch going for Hulkamania's next title run. They kept Ultimate Warrior still in the picture.
Right. Well, it built them up for WrestleMania where those two went after each other. So
Yeah,
that was a
WrestleMania
good
6.
setup. Yeah. Yep.
Right.
What about you, Squatch? What is your
All right.
list, man?
All right. I'm going to start from 5. 5.
Okay.
This is an NWA tag team. They were a powerhouse back then. I'm going to go with Doom, Ron Simmons, and I always forget who
Butch
his
Reed.
tag. Butch Reed. I always forget the
Yep.
second one, but they
Yep.
were monsters. Like they were
Yep.
just they looked the part.
And,
They had
I got to
Teddy.
give it to you. Doom was awesome because that was the first time I'd ever seen the Legion of Doom get manhandled.
Yeah, and then they also had Teddy Long as their manager.
Yeah. What's up, player? What's up,
Yeah,
player?
Even before that, and you know,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
I
You
remember watching
will
them.
face the Undertaker. That's my favorite.
I remember watching that when it was NWA, when it was on TBS on Saturdays before it became WCW.
Right.
So they're number 5. Number 4 is the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette. Has to be with Jim Cornette. Him and his loaded tennis racket.
Didn't they have when Jim Cornette got in? Wasn't that the second version of the Rock? I always get the Midnight Express
for sure.
Because they replaced somebody, and then Jim Cornette came in, and dude, those guys had a fantastic match with the Legion of Doom, the ladder match. Remember the big ladder match, the scaffold match?
Jim Cornette fell off of it.
Yeah.
Because said it 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Yeah, so just because Jim Cornette was the mouthpiece, they were my number 4 tag team.
Yeah.
And if you ever go back and watch the younger Jim Cornette when he would actually really, before he went like ape shit crazy, like he is now. So they're number 4. Number 3 is the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Because remember watching him when I was little. You know, Ricky Morton and Bob Gibson, Gibson. And Gibson used to get the hot tag, even though he had that lazy eye, so you never knew what he was looking at. They were one of my favorite tag teams. They were, I guess, the inspiration to what the Rockers were with Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels.
Right.
So you had that. Number 2 on my list was the Fabulous Freebirds, all 3 of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they're the ones that came up with the fabulous the Freebird rule. So any 2 can wrestle at any one time.
Right.
But they could all cut promos. Terry Gordy could wrestle like nobody's business.
Yeah, he could, and he was a big dude too. Terry Gordy was a big, strong dude.
Absolutely, he was 100%. And my all-time favorite tag team, the people that are signed right there in the middle of the poster, is Demolition. All 3 of them, including Crush, because I have to put Crush in. That's my favorite all-time tag team. Axe and Smash.
Everyone that you're mentioning paved the way for likes of the DX, the Outlaws, the what was it? The Oddballs with the kilts.
The Oddity.
The
Headbangers. Headbangers.
Headbangers.
There was 2 of them. You got Headbangers and you got the Highlanders. Which one?
Right.
No, Headbangers. Because I remember Headbangers. Right, it was like Kilt and Legion of Doom. It was crazy. But all this, it wouldn't be WWE and wrestling, pro wrestling would not be what it is today without all of the great tag teams that we mentioned.
Right.
All this.
Who's your honorable mention?
My honorable mention, that is a great question. I had it wrote down and I actually crossed it out. You know what? My honorable mention, because it came from AWA, it was the Russians. It was Khrushchev, the guy that played Smash,
Nikita Koloff.
Nikita Koloff. And Koloff. No, they were like a monster tag team, heel tag team. They used to run AWA in like the Minnesota, Northern Plains, your territory, Dino.
Right.
So that's my honorable mention.
Right. So let me ask this in the chat. My number 1 was Road Warriors. We got Elegant Sasquatch saying Demolition, and 30 Spray J. What'd you say? It doesn't matter.
Wow. Shots fired there.
I was wondering how long it was going to take for one of those to happen.
So
It is
what
now
what was your number
July
one again?
6th.
What was your number one again?
I'm not even going to talk because I feel like you're just going to keep doing that.
I'm
So,
not. I'm not. I got it out. It's out there. So we're good.
I
So
would have to say the Heart Foundation.
the what one?
The Heart Foundation.
Well,
Heart
I thought
Foundation.
British Bulldogs were first for you.
Yeah, okay, fine. All right.
Okay.
It is a little bit, but British Bulldogs. Yeah, I'll go with that.
So we got British Bulldogs, we got Legion of Doom, and we got Demolition. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think in the chat. Who you think if all three of them had to go against each other, who's coming out winning?
Basically, Dino
Uh,
said, come up with a reason why
No,
Sasquatch and Jay are wrong. Basically,
no,
that's what he
right.
said.
no,
Basically,
no, no.
that's what
Because
this guy's saying.
I think Demolition did wrong. When WWE brought in the Road Warriors, because
Politics.
Demolition held the line
Yeah,
for a long time,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I wanted to see them feud for a while. And it was like, oh, we brought the Road Warriors in, and oh,
It was
go
like
beat
a,
Demolition up, and now they're gone, and you don't
yeah,
see them no
it
more.
was like a one-off, and they even
Right.
said that
There's a one. It's
actually
not.
in an interview they could have made a ton of money off of that.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not where you were, right place, right time. It's who you know, and I'm pretty sure
Well,
that the Legion of Doom was
well,
up there.
well, you got to remember, and when they were talking about it, when I believe Vince was talking about it, or somebody who was in control, like creative control, they said when they made Demolition that they kind of modeled them off the Road Warriors in a way. They had the face paint, but they were doing different things. They said that when they got the Road Warriors, they felt like they got the true deal, and they were gonna get Demolition out of there as soon as they could because they didn't want people to get, you know. So they did them. I believe they did them dirty. They deserve better than that, because you could have spun it off and made it a huge thing because Demolition had three guys.
Yeah,
They could have really used
They
that to
just
the
said it.
advantage and feuded
They
for a
just said it.
while.
and
British
Right.
Bulldogs with Matilda, the Bulldog.
see, and
Loved it.
what's
But
killing me is like Demolition should be in their Hall of Fame, but
right,
they're not because as
right.
apparently Axe and Vince had a falling out over I guess money, and
Yeah,
then
but here's the
they
thing.
got into that CTE lawsuit, and they couldn't like
Well, here's the thing though. Vince is gone.
yeah,
What does
I
it
know.
matter anymore? Put him in there, But I will say, I think the one thing that Road Warriors had over everybody for a while was their manager, Paul Ellering.
I mean, Mr.
Oh,
Fuji, man, Mr. Fuji,
I
Mr.
mean,
Fuji.
Fuji was
what's
cool,
up?
but Paul Ellering was just he was different. I mean, if you look at the time, he was a different type of manager, right? Because he was a
Yeah.
wrestler that had a neck injury. He had the build for a while. When he first started managing, he was a big dude, but he had that personality. I mean, I remember him coming out there with the newspaper rolled up and smacking people with it and actually doing stuff. But I think the original version of the Road Warriors with Paul Ellering, they were monstrous. Paul Ellering did a lot for those guys. I think they had a better manager than probably everybody that we mentioned, as far as you know what the manager was doing. But yeah,
I can see that. I got it. So
yep. But I
All
mean,
right.
everybody we mentioned though, I mean, everybody that's been on our list drew money.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I
100%,
I
100%.
cheered for every one of the
Obviously, we're
every one of
still
them.
here in 2025 talking about wrestling. So
Right, right,
they paved the way, like I said.
right, right. I mean, I cheered for every one of those teams on your list and on your list. Every
Oh
one of
yeah.
them. I
Oh, yeah.
enjoyed watching them, you
Yep,
know? So
exactly.
yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
Exactly. So,
Yep. So let's get
We've got.
into
Go
no,
ahead.
that's not yet. Hold on, not yet because you haven't given me a chance to do that yet. Let me see here. Come on, switch. There we go. Not final thoughts. Come on, where am I at? Man, I am doing bad today, fellas. I did not get enough sleep. Future
Boo.
wrestling
who
predictions.
this man?
Boo.
Man. Um, you know what? I'll go first, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what? I can see not at SummerSlam. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Drew McIntyre is gonna interfere in one of the matches in SummerSlam. I can see it now.
I can see it now. Yep.
I know I'm going out on a limb, but that's what I'm saying.
So before we go to that,
Wait, are you
because
going out on a limb on the family tree?
Yeah, yes, and preferably I hit the ground when the branch breaks because I don't want to be part of that tree.
so are we all three on the same mindset that because we got Saturday night coming up, Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live. Are we still all kind of on that same mindset that Goldberg's going to squash Gunter? My theory is he's going to squash Gunter. When he's celebrating, Braun Breaker's going to come out and give him a spear
uh-huh.
because I think that's cool that if Goldberg goes out with a spear, the move that he
Yeah.
was known for,
Yeah.
and the guy who now does it the best that I've seen in forever, spears him. Seth Rollins comes out, cashes in 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is the champion. Goldberg gets to ride out on the sunset because
I'm
he
taking bets.
won.
I'm
He
taking bets.
won. He won. So he kind of gets to ride out on the sunset because he did kind of retire as champion.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I can
Yeah.
handle that.
I can
Yeah.
handle that. We're all on the same page as that because from what I've read, predictions are predictions, but they are saying that this is Goldberg's last match. Will
Yeah, right.
Goldberg finish as champion? Of course. They're going to give it to him.
Right.
And he had such the longest run, and they got to show him respect, whether it was WCW or WWE.
Right.
He did do some things.
Right.
Honestly, Goldberg is what kept WCW going for so long, besides
Right.
NWA.
Right.
So to ride off into the sunset as champion, you're gonna say,
Right.
"I won the championship. They ended me with a spear, and that was it." Oh yeah.
Right. Right. Is there
Uh,
anything else on Saturday night's main event that's big?
A Cena match.
Oh, Cena's wrestling.
I'm pretty sure of it. Hold on, let me find out the card because I'm not for sure right off the
oh
top
my
of my
God,
head.
guys, get it together. Get it together.
It's probably all that cologne coming through my screen that's got me all messed up tonight, Jay.
Exactly.
Maybe 15 sprays from now on when you come on the show, not 30, 15.
28, 29, 30. All right, I'm here. I spray heavy and I walk steady.
All right, so it's Gunther versus Goldberg, LA
Right.
Knight versus Seth Rollins, Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles, and Bailey versus Lyra. That is the card.
Oh,
So
no Cena.
No
so
Cena.
LA Knight not going to win against Seth.
Oh no. Oh no.
And
But it keeps him in the talks. It keeps
yes,
him in the talks.
right. So he's going to lose. You said Dominic against AJ Styles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dominic's
Yeah.
going to win because he's got the push right now.
You know
No.
what? I'm
No.
gonna say AJ Styles is gonna win that belt.
Yeah. Me too.
I don't
One
know,
of the
man.
predictions that I saw was John Cena, being a Grand Slam champion, hasn't won the Intercontinental. What if AJ Styles wins it? Puts the feud for AJ Styles versus John Cena.
Yeah, but see, here's the
Making-
thing, though. How does that rule work? Because I don't know if they have that rule that you can't hold both belts at one time. Because when the Warrior
Mm,
had the Intercontinental and beat Hulk for the championship, he had to relinquish the
Yeah,
Intercontinental.
I have no idea.
So
I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't know how that works now because
Right.
but I mean,
look what they did with Stephanie down in NXT. She had 2 belts. So,
yeah, but
Right.
there's no precedent set here. Like, can he hold 2 belts?
I have no idea.
And is it wise? Because if he's only showing up at pay-per-views to wrestle, is it really wise to put 2 belts on him?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a long shot. I really don't see much happening for Saturday night main event. It's
Right.
It's a filler pay per view.
Yeah.
I would say that sooner rather than later, Zilla Batu is coming,
Yeah.
and they're going to make that happen before Survivor Series because
Right. Team match.
I would team match. Shout out Roman Reigns. They just welcomed their sixth child into the world,
That's awesome.
and I would say that Roman Reigns isn't going to come back at Saturday Night Main Event, but he is
No,
definitely probably going to come back at SummerSlam like he has before, and
right?
that's going to build. He's going to build his team versus the My Fart Tingles family tree.
It's terrible. You got to stop saying that. It's terrible.
I can't help it.
It's
Family
terrible.
Tree is the weakest faction name ever.
It's up there, but it's still terrible. All right, and then what are your guys' predictions for Evolution? The card is
Ooh,
Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley.
Rhea,
Tiffany Stratton versus Trish. I'm
Tiffany.
sorry. Okay, we'll start. We'll start from the beginning.
So my guess is Rhea Ripley's going to win.
Okay, so you got Rhea. What you got,
I
Jay?
got Rhea.
I got Rhea. Um, Unfortunately, I want to say that maybe Rhea doesn't win because this is a long feud building. They like the long storytelling, so maybe
Right,
Rhea doesn't win. So then it gives more competition for Rhea with Rhea again. This
right,
is a good feud.
right,
It is one of the better play-by-play
right,
uh, face-offs against each other. So
right,
maybe this is a WrestleMania match.
right.
Yep.
Maybe
You
Rhea
know,
wins it in
you
order
know,
for Io to come back.
and that's one thing about Io. I like Io.
Oh
Would you
yeah,
guys agree?
she can wrestle.
Would you guys agree if there wasn't a language barrier and she could cut promos that she'd probably be the complete package?
Oh, 100
What
percent.
I'm confused about is there a language barrier or do they just play on that? Because it seems
Right,
like every time that they're foreign, they have to play that language barrier.
right, right,
So
They're
right,
in America, they're speaking, they're learning.
right,
I don't see that they're so oriental
right,
that they can't speak English. I think that it's just a storyline that's been played on through WWE 30 some
right.
years that it seems a little discriminative. Like let them just cut
Well,
the promos, show what they can do.
it all depends. So here's the problem, though. It all depends. I mean, if they're straight from New Japan Wrestling and they haven't done it. I mean, I don't know. I've never met any of them in person. I don't know, but
But
all I'm saying is that to me, if she could cut the promos better, she'd be a total package. I think.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
So that match was for the world's women's
Right.
world championship.
Right.
Next one is the another WWE Women's Championship match. Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus.
Tiffany.
Actually, you know what?
Tiffany.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Io Sky just to be a little bit on the
Yeah.
different side.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This one I'm actually gonna go. You know what? I hate to say it, but you know what? I'm gonna go Trish. I don't know why, because you
ooh,
just bring her out
Ooh,
of
but
the blue.
you know what?
yeah, but here's the thing though: is there's nowhere to go with Trish as champion.
Yeah.
There's nowhere. This is why I think they're bringing Trish out. Right? Trish is pretty hot as far as anytime she comes, people get behind her. Right?
Uh-huh.
She's got this big reputation of being a champion, Divas champion, all that, right? Tiffany beats her. All it does is solidify Tiffany even more, right? Because I think at this point in the game, they can't stop the motion of Tiffany, okay? Because she's hot. I think if Jade was a good wrestler, there'd be a different story. But Tiffany's the breadwinner now. She's putting asses in the seats when it comes to the women's division. People like her. I mean, she's kind of Charlotte 2.0 though. She's got the look, she's got the attitude. The girl was a gymnast. She's got
All
the
right,
moves.
She just
all
needs
right.
a seasoning to it.
Let me just
Right.
spray this in your face real quick. I'm gonna say
Please,
if
please,
they're gonna
please
give it
don't.
to,
Please don't.
I'm gonna
Please
say
don't.
if they're gonna give it to Goldberg and give it to the men's division, why wouldn't they give someone like Trish Stratus one more run?
Because that's not her last match. She's not retiring. It's not,
Sure,
dude.
she's
It's
not
not going to
retiring.
happen,
She
dude.
wants to wrestle for a little bit, so let her have a little bit of a title run. Whatever happened to Lita? She took Lita out, and then Lita just stopped.
So
They are they're
if
gonna
we did
feed
it,
off of this.
so if we did that, then you know what should happen is Ric Flair should come back out of retirement and he should beat Cena and be the
Oh
savior
my
of it.
gosh.
All right.
But think
All
about but think
right.
about this though. If you got Trish winning the belt, once again they already have so much talent, right? It stops the other talent from coming up. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
This is
Why
true.
would she's got so much momentum? Tiffany Stratton does. Why would you do that to her to lose to Trish? Trish hasn't wrestled anybody in how long? You know what I mean?
This is true. All right. So next match is for
Unless Naomi comes in and cashes in on that match.
I prematurely sprayed. I'm sorry.
all right. All right. The next match is the NXT World Championship. JC Jane versus Jordan Grace.
Okay, Jordan Grace all the way. Let me just jump in real quick. I'm sorry, guys, but Jordan Grace is the evolution of the WWE Women's title. She is a real life bodybuilder. She is a real life martial artist. She is what's coming up. She is going to be the next Becky Lynch, the next Charlotte Flair, whoever you want to name. Jordan Grace is coming.
Sure. I have been a big Jordan Grace fan, don't get me wrong, and I'm kind of confused how they did it. They brought her out to Survivor Series, she did her thing, went back to TNA, got picked up by WWE, and I thought for sure, like, in my opinion, she should have never been in NXT. Like, if you're going to bring Jade Cargill up right off, Jordan Grace should have been straight to either Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. But lately, if you've seen her in NXT, they really been
They've been jobbing her out for no.
they've been jobbing her, and I don't get it because
I
she
thought-
is a powerhouse.
I thought she got called up to SmackDown. What
She
happened with
did, but she
that?
got in
Did she
some
say
trouble.
something? Yeah.
She got in some trouble, and they put the smack on her. So now she's still in NXT. But I would love to see Jordan Grace win, and I hope she does. I just don't know. It's been too close to call with her.
I'm going with JC. JC Jane, just because they don't know what they're doing with Grace yet.
Right.
So let's see. We got four more matches. The next one's for the Intercontinental. It's Becky versus Bayley versus Lyra. You know what? I'm going with Bayley on that one. That's just my personal opinion.
I want Bayley to win it, but I'm gonna say Lyra because it builds the feud between Lyra and Bayley. I mean, whoever wins within the two, it's gonna be a nice feud. I just think it's such a mediocre title for Becky. I mean, she isn't women's heavyweight championship material anymore to me.
Right.
But everyone else thinks she is. So this is just a filler match in order for the more feuds for the women's title. The big story between the two is Bayley and.
Right. I think Bayley's going to win it because if Bayley wins it, it kind of hopefully releases Lyra Valkyrie to go after the heavyweight belt. I don't want her going after center. I think they're wasting their time with Lyra with this mid-level belt that really doesn't mean a lot. Let her go after the heavyweight belt because I could see her going against Rhea. I could see her going against Io. Everybody that they have on that roster that has been in that contendership, she can wrestle against. Give Bayley a run as the Intercontinental Champion. Let her do her thing. Maybe have a small feud with Becky again. Maybe Becky will retire and we don't have to deal with her anymore. But that's my prediction. Bayley's going to get it.
All right. And then the next one is for the women's tag team titles. It's Rodriguez and Perez versus Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus another two teams. They don't have the other two teams yet. So I'm going to say Alexa and Charlotte. They're going to win it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they do with the Rodriguez and Perez, but So that's the way I see it because they're pushing Alexa and Charlotte, so they're gonna give them the titles. So.
Right.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I'm not sure to help you with that either. I want to say I agree with you on Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair winning it just because they're pushing
Right.
that team. Um,
Right.
I just wish that the storyline was a little bit deeper and darker, but we'll see how it all plays out. Not Ray Smokey. I wish Ray
I,
Smokey would come in here. I appreciate not Ray Smokey coming in here though. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming
That, that,
into
I,
does, he,
Suplex Syndicate.
I
does he have a mask like the new El Grande
right.
Americano?
Right.
So yeah,
I'll agree with you. I think Charlotte and Alexa are going to win it. There's a storyline building with them, and yeah. Um,
there is a women's battle royal. I have no idea who's in it, so I'm just gonna say Nia Jax is gonna win it just because. Yeah.
if
So,
she's in it, she should win it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then the last one is Naomi versus Jade Cargill. That's the last
So
match. So
I don't know what to think about that because I don't know where they're going with Jade, and I don't know what like track record is Jade has beat her,
yeah,
but Naomi lately has been pretty vicious and pretty devious.
I'm gonna go with Naomi. Just because like actually you know what Jade's gonna win because like
Yeah,
if
they got to push her.
if
Yeah,
if Naomi loses it doesn't really matter because she still
no,
has the briefcase.
right.
Jade
I think
loses, then there's
I
the bigger issue.
I think that builds up to SummerSlam with what we
Yep,
were kind of talking about. So if Jade beats her, it's going to frustrate Naomi more.
yep,
And I think that draws to the intention of if she cashes in at SummerSlam, gets the belt and hurts Jade.
yep,
Gonna give Jade an injury so Jade can go for about 4 months and get her timing down.
yep.
That might be the setup. So yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, that's the whole evolution card. So I mean,
Right.
it should be a good show. It's longer than normal.
Right.
Longer than the normal 4 or 5 matches. So,
Right.
and I have a feeling that Battle Royal is probably going to be on the pre-show,
Right.
which
So
wouldn't
so
surprise me.
so Jay, who's gonna win? Jade Cargill or Naomi?
It could go either way. If Naomi wins, then every time she tries to cash in, someone's gonna interfere, just like it has been playing off. I
Right.
would say that um, I would say that Jay. You know what? I'm gonna say Naomi wins, just because, like I just said, they're gonna play off of Jade. Um, but it could go either way with that one. It's a really tough decision. It just depends on which
Right.
way the storyline is going to go with,
Right.
with
If if Naomi
Paul and everything.
wins, if Naomi wins, it's not going to be a clean win. It
True,
won't be a clean win.
true.
Or
Eventually, it's going to
we
be
get a disqualification. Or we get a disqualification. They have a
Naomi is going to get the belt, whether it happens now, whether it happens next week, whether it happens in the next month, or whatever.
right.
The feud for WrestleMania that I see is going to be Naomi versus Jade for the title. Now, is Jade going to be ready to be women's champion by WrestleMania? Only time will tell.
Well, it depends on how much time off she gets to learn how to wrestle.
This
Sure.
is correct.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, um, you know, all she really has to do is get some time off and let Enzo Amore teach her how to wrestle and maybe do a little bit better on the mic, and that
There
would be
you go
perfect.
again. There's 3.
You know.
Killing me, Dino. You're killing me. Killing me. If we get him on the show, we're gonna have to stop doing the Enzo meter if we ever get him on the show. That's it.
Well, we won't have to do the Enzo meter on the show because I'm just going to be sitting here going
Yeah, I know. We're
like
gonna have
that,
to
right?
carry you. It's fine. It's unlike the other way around where you just carry us. We're gonna have to carry you. Way to go.
Oh man.
You know what?
Let me see
Jay,
here.
I call the ankles because I'm not trying to carry him by the arms.
I'm not that big, Squatch.
He's not.
That's all
I got the arms, but he's gonna be screaming, like whispering Enzo at me the whole time. So that's fine.
So before we do final thoughts, Mr. J, you've been great at doing the promotional sponsors for shows. So why don't you give us the promotional sponsorship of who's sponsoring the show today?
Oh man, Suplex Syndicate. is sponsored by the Elegant Sasquatch on Etsy.com. The original Firecracker Original Beard Oil is out right now. I'm sure there's a bunch more coming, but this one right now for your holiday special. The fourth is over, but the summer isn't. Get your Firecracker Original Beard Oil by Elegant Sasquatch on Etsy.com.
And everybody's going to ask me, $20 is $20, man. And we don't really have any sponsorships, so yeah, But we thank you for your sponsorship, Elegant Sasquatch.
Wait,
Thank
wait,
you
wait.
for
I'm not getting paid for this?
I'm
Hey,
sorry,
you
dude.
got paid. I sent you a bottle. You got paid.
You didn't look at your
Oh, yeah.
contract
Oh, yeah.
before you signed it?
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh, yeah.
that fine
No,
deal.
I never look at that stuff. I just sign it. I just
You
check the
lose, sir.
box.
Good day, sir. You lose.
Squash. He didn't look at the contract that he signed to be on this show.
Oh,
Man, you should have had your attorneys look over that, Jay.
uh,
Man,
your soul belongs to me. You know that, right?
your soul belongs to me. Final thoughts, fellas. Final thoughts about wrestling. What's happening?
You know
Go
what?
ahead.
It's you got to take the good with the bad. It all can't be home runs. Sometimes you got to take the single to get the first. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm perfectly okay with where wrestling is. I'm
Right.
actually, to be honest with you, I'm kind of looking forward to the AEW stuff. Can't wait till we can start talking about that. But
Right.
that is it's starting to get there, man. It
Right.
definitely is. So.
I'll tell you what. You mentioned AEW, and I would love to see. There's probably 3 or 4 of the women wrestlers in AEW. I would love to have them come see a WWE, because they've got a couple rock stars in AEW when it comes there. Yeah. But final thoughts. I think WWE is doing a really good job. Overall, I've been entertained. We talk about it almost every week. I can't believe that SmackDown is burning down Raw almost every week. They gotta
Well,
really start pumping Raw up some more. But
um,
yeah, yep,
I think we're in the age of commercials.
yep,
So back in the day, in my childhood, it was sure there was commercials, but there was a lot of promos and
vignettes,
storylines, vignettes mixed in,
right,
and then right back in.
right.
Today, this age, we're not seeing all that. I would love to see some more. I don't get paid for promoting. Cash App, Jay Blight. That's great. If you want me to promote you, then Cash App me. But these guys, I may get a free beard oil, but I've only gotten one. We're waiting for the rest.
Well,
They're in the mail. They're in
I
the
got to
mail.
do something really quick. So, what do you say here? He said, not Ray Smokey wants to know. He says, what if you sell your soul? What do you actually get? And you want to know what Jay got? He got to spin the spinner belt. That's what he got to do in person. He got
Ooh,
to spin
I
it. So
did.
yeah.
I
So
did. Does that make me a sellout? I will sell out for that spinner belt. I tried to take it with me, but Dino did jump on my back, and the raccoon was biting at my ankles, so I did not get out with that spinner belt.
right. Yes, indeed. Yes,
I
indeed.
do, like Baker said, I do miss the shows like Piper's Pit
Right.
and things like that nature. Um, The only one that's really, and I'm sorry I'm writing the coattails on this, but the only one that has the little promos and everything is the White Six. But we are only getting like a minute promos anymore. What happened to the days where we had 3 minutes? You can sit there and watch Y2J count down from 20 all the way down to
Well,
5 before we
here's
came back.
here's the problem,
Time
Jay.
is money.
You know, they could do 5-minute vignettes, but they got to get the guy that can do it, the smack talker, Skywalker, Enzo, because if you watch his reels, that dude can go for 5 minutes and it's full throttle and he does it. I don't think these guys can do like these guys can. So the answer is just bring Enzo back to WWE and you wouldn't have that vignette problem.
All right, you won, Jay. That's it. That was 5.
It did.
All right. And on that note,
Cash App, Jay Blight.
all right. Yeah,
And on that note,
Yeah.
stay tuned till next week where we continue on with our tag teams of the generation.
Yes.
and highlights of next week's Raw and SmackDown, and this Saturday Night Main Event, and the evolution of the women.
Yeah, that will actually be going on as we're recording or as we're live. So that should be fun. Should be a good time.
Right,
So,
right.
but,
Heck yeah.
So.
Yep. I agree, Smokey. Not Ray Smokey. What do you think, Jay? What do you think, guys? If they would have had a best in showroom worlds for the outfit, you think Tactical Santa would have done pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Top three.
Winner.
Top three.
Right.
At least. Yes.
Yep. But if you guys, so right here, so we did. It was 5, right? It was 5 or 6 on the. So if nobody guessed it, right? You guys got it.
Nobody guessed it.
I can't.
Nobody guessed it. So we got to kind of make this interesting. I think we were talking backstage, Squatch. Weren't you talking about maybe doing this again, like maybe every week, and then maybe if somebody guesses it, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna be doing if somebody guesses?
So what we'll do is until we get to what we said, show 25, something like that, 20, 25.
Right.
We're gonna put it in the chat every time people guess, and you guys guess it right. We'll write your name down. And then once we hit the 25th show, we'll do a giveaway. I'll give out some of my products. Your choice. You let me know, and and then I'll send it out and we'll go from there. So,
you know what? Let's do. So if they guess, and let's say we got somebody that guesses second, like is not quick on the draw.
Yep.
I'm willing. I'll tell you what. Do you still have original tribal chief for sale?
I do. Yes.
Okay. I'll tell you what. When we get to 20, save a bottle of that because whoever is like not the quickest on the draw but got the number, I will pay for you to send them a bottle of OTC.
Okay. So what the contest?
If you're watching this and you got a beard, you will possibly win something from Elegant Sasquatch.
Or if you just want to smell great, so this is what we'll do.
Right.
So every week we will we'll run this contest.
Okay.
And every week we'll write down the winner of that week, and then once we hit week 25, that show 25, we'll do that giveaway. So
sounds good, man.
Starting next show.
So we're gonna say second place will get a bottle of OTC.
Yep.
First place gets you whatever you're giving away, whatever you want to give away.
Yep.
Jay, do you want to get on this, or do you want to do a third place?
Ooh, third place. Ooh. Let's see. You still got some woo? You got some woo!
Everything. I have the only one I don't have is Squatch 316 right now.
All right. Yeah, you want to do a woo, Jay?
I'll do a woo.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with the woo. Third place will get a bottle of the.
All right. So
your boys, spraying heavy, walking steady.
All right, so first place winner with the most amount of correct answers will get a box from me. Second place will get with the most correct answers throughout the weeks. We'll get a bottle of OTC from Santa, and third we'll get a bottle of Woo from Jay with the most amount, the third place.
Right.
So
I'll wipe it with it. Make sure that we.
I'll have a running total here, and we'll go from there. So.
Right. So not Ray Smokey says, "What if I win? Can I buy Dino's soul?" But that's a trick question. I don't have a soul.
Two of the three are here. Actually, we all don't have souls. I sold mine to be tall, so it's fine.
Chief says I'm a vampire.
I guess I sold mine without reading it.
Short?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Dino is a vampire.
Alrighty, guys. So
all right.
For an hour and a half, I think
it's
for us to wrap.
I come in. Thank you, everybody that's followed Suplex Syndicate. Like, share, comment. Even if you're a replay squad, keep up with us every week. Come here for the wrestling. Stay here for the lives. Today was brought to you by whatever the hell I'm wearing as cologne today.
So I'm gonna send this out. My best, because one of my mentors and one of my greatest brothers I have, Santa Tom. I'm gonna try to do him justice because I like what he does at the end of his shows. The world could use a little more love. So be kind to one another. And WWE, get the Raw ratings back up. Do some stuff to the show. But anyway, thank you for tuning in. We couldn't do this without your support. We love you. Come back and watch us. And don't forget, pay attention to the Enzo Amore meter because you can win some awesome merch from, I'm going to say, he's in my top 3 of all beard companies. So top 3, you want top tier stuff, you could win some top tier stuff.
Where are we at?
So yeah, definitely tune in, and thank you guys, and thank you brothers for being on this show and making Suplex City. And don't worry, Jay, I think by next week you'll finally come around and realize the Road Warriors were the greatest ever, but that's for another time, right? All right, next week is 92, the Attitude Era, right?
Yeah, Attitude, WCW, and and all that. So
Right. Well, all right, fellas.
Catch us at the same time every week, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, with the Suplex Syndicate with the Elegant Sasquatch, Tactical Santa, and your boy, 30 Spray J.
Take care, fellas.